It's another week, another game night. The Bears are back and they're out of sight. Bad calls, bad luck, it's a weekly sight. Tune in to another bad call, let's make it right. Yo, it's another bad call, the show's the name. Breaking down the plays, the blame and the shame. From Soldier Field to the NFL's domain. We're here to talk it out again and again. Another bad call, the show's the name. Breaking down the praise, the blame, and the shame. From Soldier Field to the NFL's domain. We're here to talk it out again and again. Again and again. Again and again. Yo.
Going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Another Bad Call, the podcast that proves the refs aren't the only ones who get it wrong. It is Monday, November 18th. I had to double check that one. I've been on vacation for a few days now, and I'm losing track of my days. So, yeah, definitely Monday the 18th. Hope everybody's doing good. How you doing, Justin?
Screw you and your vacation.
Hey, man, I had 12 days I had to use before the end of the year. I'm trying to sneak them in.
I've got 11. I don't think I'm going to get them all in.
Slacker.
Not happy about that.
You're a
so.
slacker. Oh, man. Well, before we get into anything else, if you're joining us, really appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, follow, share, comment, do all the things that are completely free but completely help the channel out. We'd greatly appreciate that. This week, I think we're just going to jump right into it here, buddy. Bears lose to Green Bay, to nobody's surprise. The big surprise, there was actually a close game. So close that Chicago actually had a chance to win the game. Down one with less than a minute to go. Caleb Williams leads a drive down the field for what should be the game-winning field goal with about 3 seconds left. Unfortunately, the kick was blocked, and the streak of losing to Green Bay continues. I really don't think either one of us thought the Bears even had a shot at this game, but still stings a little bit. How you doing after all that?
Yeah, it was. It's gonna. So the game started, and Green Bay breaks through the Bears like Swiss cheese, and I thought, oh well, we're in for one of these. But they showed some fight. That change at offensive coordinator, I mean, to nobody's real surprise, went in a better direction than what we had been seeing. So, but yeah, no, just more of the same though. Start to get your hopes up a little bit. You know, I don't think we definitely didn't expect them to win. I think at this point we don't really care about them winning. Like, I mean, we care, but we don't have any expectations for the season as far as playoffs or anything.
Right.
So we're just trying to see like what kind of positives we can gain and
yeah, I mean, if you rewind the clocks back 3 weeks, or well, I guess 4 weeks at this point in time, you know, we were in our bye week. Hopes were high, right? 4-2 going to the bye. Hopes were high. We had seen things, and then just a disastrous 3 weeks made us all go, okay, season's over. Let's pack it up, pack it in. Don't let me begin. We'll go on to we'll go on to next season. Yeah, it was bad, but there it is.
I'm let that one go.
So we did get some changes here. We talked last week. We were really frustrated that they pushed back a press conference because we were expecting an announcement. They don't make an announcement until the next day. The announcement, obviously, they had fired Shane Waldron, despite Flus apparently trying to keep him. I saw all those stories. That was gross. But they do fire him. They bring in Thomas Brown. He's a coordinator for the Panthers and basically had the exact same thing happen to him last year, right? About halfway through the season, they hand over play calling to him with a rookie QB and say, "Here, fix this mess," right? So expectations were honestly kind of low for a lot of people uh, because we all saw what the Panthers were last year. But I was pretty happy. He mostly called a good game. Uh, they had a couple things that I didn't like, but I was really encouraged by a few of the things that I saw yesterday. Quicker developing plays, quicker throws. And the big one for me is how fast the play calls were coming in. I kept meaning to bring it up on previous shows, but like you constantly saw Caleb going, let's go, get me the plays in previous weeks. I didn't really see that this week. I mean, maybe one or two times towards the end of the game when they were pushing, but I really think that helps him get to the line and make some reads, gives him
Yeah,
time to
yeah,
do it.
yeah, for sure. First off, Jinx 590, thanks for tuning in. It's always great to have people, and it's been a while. So glad that you could join us here. So,
Yeah,
um,
congrats
but
on making it to almost 18 too. I see that.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, the Bears, the balance. That's one of the things that stood out to me. 31 passes to the 34 rushes. Some of that was Caleb, but it looked like kind of he was instructed that if that second read wasn't there, you make something happen with your legs. Don't not that they want him to take off all the time, but um, just let's keep your legs as a weapon because that's something he did well in college, and rather than taking sacks, it's making positive momentum. So the uh, the pace of the play calling and the balance, it felt like the Bears offense was kind of dictating what was happening, right? Instead of just getting pummeled by the D.
Yep.
And then I mean, Caleb had a good game. Like there were some things, but Caleb had the highest quarterback PFF score of any quarterback that has faced the Packers defense so far this season, which
Yep.
was impressive. And on the plays where the Packers blitzed him, they blitzed him 12 times. His uh, his PFF grade was 94.5. He was 8 of 10 for 87 yards and had one big time throw. So pretty impressive.
Yeah, he looked a lot more comfortable this week. A lot more. And again, I think a lot of that had to come from being able to get that play in on time and the simpler plays, right? Looked like they really simplified things. I was trying to pull out some stuff, um, just some stats wise on like the average separation for his receivers and the average cushion and that sort of stuff. But until you really dig down in the weeds, that's really not going to help anybody out a whole lot. What I will tell you is his average time to throw yesterday was his lowest at 2.42 seconds for the day, which was his absolute lowest. Week 2 he was at 2.59. Other than that, he's always been at 2.8 or higher. Week 8 was 3.19 and week 9 was 3.3. So I mean, we're talking almost a full second improvement there. And a lot goes into that on the play development, how long he holds on the ball and how well the line's blocking, that sort of thing. But that's what we want to see. We want to see him getting that ball out a whole lot quicker.
Yeah,
So
for
for
sure.
sure.
I mean, we did see a couple of drops by the wide receivers, but overall that play was better. DJ Moore looked like he was in his head was in this one. He was playing, didn't look disengaged or anything like that. Uh, Roshan Johnson, man, they finally got some good use out of him rather than just at the goal line and just they decided to split the carries a little bit, give DeAndre Swift a break. Not that DeAndre was bad; he did some really good things as well. But I think it's good to switch it up between the two different types of running backs. Um, the one thing they did use Cole Komet. They targeted him 3 times. He was 3 for 3 on on routes that they target him. Still like to see a little bit more.
Yeah. Listen, I know, and we talk about it every week. So I like promised myself I wasn't gonna go down this road again with commit. Um, Keenan Allen played better. Things looked better. I'm still bring him in as like wide receiver 3, right?
Yeah.
Bring him in. Let's just at this point in time, let's really just roll with Adunze. Um, there was a point in this game, and I want to say it was around the third quarter. I could be wrong. Maybe the middle of the third quarter, where they did slow things down a little bit, and the plays were starting to take a little bit longer to develop, and we were holding on the ball a little bit longer, almost like we were looking for the KO shot, right? Of because we still had the lead at that point in time, and if we get that, then you really put Green Bay in a bad position. That was the only moment in the game where I was like, you know what, I really wish you guys would just stick to those quick hitters, because if you, as long as you're keeping Green Bay's offense off the field, you've got a chance to win this game, right? Um, but I will take 3 out of 4 quarters being good for this one. So a lot of credit to Thomas Brown on that one. There's well, here, I'll let you go into your last part because I know we want to kind of. Well, actually, no. It looks like your notes are good. So, Thomas Brown, I watched his press conference last week. I don't know if you caught it or not. The energy level, along with the directness and the accountability, not only with what he says, but like his answers and what he's expecting out of his players and that sort of stuff. And I know he's been a candidate for some head coaching jobs, or at least interviewed for some head coaching jobs. Part of me wants to see him as our interim HC, right? Let's
Yeah.
go ahead and put him as our interim head coach. Now,
So,
I realize it's only one game, but I kind of like after his one press conference, I was like, okay, I'm sold. Just like let's make him interim right now. Um, and I know you got thoughts on Flus going, so
I was gonna say, in order for him to be interim, that means we have to launch the Flus. I just want to say, like, as much as the last 3 weeks had really stung prior to this, this was the second time in 4 weeks that Caleb led a what should have been a game winning drive, only to be let down by the coaching. And like, I don't know, we're gonna keep banging this drum over and over and over. Um, but Flus has got to go. I mean, I gotta try and not be an idiot here and see if I can share
yeah.
something over here. Um,
Oh, what's up, Dragonfire? Da
we'll see,
Bears, yeah.
we'll see this
Da
graphic
Bears
here.
breaking da hearts.
We got I'm sharing this. It's a tweet from Stat Hole Sports, and this graphic here shows active NFL coach records in one score games. And I had been saying we had the worst coach in the division. No, we've got the worst coach in the entire league, and it's not even close. It's not even close. We are Matt with Matt Eberflus as our head coach in one score games. We are 5-17, and we've gone over and over and over the um, the 6 games, right? The historic losses. I've
Yep.
done those rants and everything, but I don't know what else management needs to see before they do what's right for the franchise, what's right for their players. Um, it's disheartening, and at some point they will quit. I mean, not that they haven't already at times. They got a little bit of re-energize. I don't know. They got
Re-energized?
re-energized.
Is that the word you're
Yeah,
looking for?
I was gonna stretch that one out, and it was gonna be real bad. So, so, yeah, they got re-energized, but
uh,
it it's still we were left with the same result, time and time again.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I like I said, I don't want to argue with you because there's nothing really to argue about, but because it's the exact same thing, right? I realize it doesn't make for good content, doesn't make good for good conversation, but he's kind of left us in a spot where what can we do? So Bears obviously they make, or Caleb does the game winning drive, or what should be the game winning drive, right? Gets us down there. I want to say we ran off about 20 seconds of clock, something like that, right? To get to the 3 seconds. I don't have the exact numbers in my head.
We ran off like 30 seconds.
Okay, there you go. So even more so, right? And we're going, okay, get on the ball. Like they did a rushing play on second down, right? So we still have 2 downs to go. We still have a timeout. In your head, you're going, get on the ball. Let's run another play, whatever. Instead, they elect to let the clock run down. They call a timeout with 3 seconds, kick a field goal. Obviously, it gets blocked. Listen, Chicago submitted the play for review to the league. They believe that the long snapper Scott Daly was not protected based on the way the rules are. You have to give them enough time to get into a stood up blocking stance before you can contact him with its helmet, shoulder, forearm, face mask, like all these things that you can touch him with. And they don't believe that he got that. I think we've seen that penalty called against the Bears, right?
Yes,
I know I've seen it a few times.
In the Cardinals game, it was called on the Bears, and
Yep.
I think the Cardinals got a first down and then
Yes.
a touchdown right after that.
Yep.
Definitely.
Now,
yeah.
that aside, there are many that want to know why Chicago didn't try to run another play, make the field goal a little bit shorter. How do you feel about that?
Well, the stats where it was a 46 yard 48 we were trying. So Cairo Santos over the last 3 years, 50 plus yard field goals, 85.7% conversion rate, 41 to 49 yard field goals, 76.2% conversion rate, under 40 yards, 100% conversion rate. You have the time, you have the timeouts, you have momentum. Your team was moving the ball. There's no reason not to take another play to try to get it closer unless you're going to coach scared. You're coaching, and this is Eberflus's MO. He is playing for what could go wrong every single time. What could go wrong? You cannot play that way. We saw it in the game last night. The Chargers were in the same exact position. They run the ball, and not, you know what happened? Oh, they scored a touchdown on that play. Not only did they not just get better field, they scored a touchdown. You stay aggressive until you can't. It's one thing if you don't have a timeout, but it's inexcusable to me not to go forward with that.
And I argue that the difference between what we saw from the Chargers and the Bears situation is quality of offensive line. We run another play. How many times have we seen the Bears come in and do a false start, right? You put your heavy package in, you're bringing Mercedes Lewis, false start. Although I will give him credit, Mercedes Lewis did not have a false start this game, so that's a step in the right direction.
He might not have been on the field. I don't know, but
he was on the field a couple times because I was like, oh, 84 is in. Here's a false start. So that, that didn't happen. But we've seen so many times with this line, the amount of problems we've had between false starts or a holding penalty. And now all of a sudden we take that 48 yarder and then we turn it into a 53 or a 58. Now we really have problems.
But we see what we're up against in the season. We've lost 3 in a row. We're not in any position, like, play to win. Be aggressive. Put the pressure on the other team. Go for it. I mean, 11 in a row we had lost to the Packers. What do we have to? We're just gonna keep laying down. The Packers had it scouted out. Like, I mean, they talked about they saw something like.
Yeah, it's rumored that their special teams coach, Rich Bisaccia or whatever, had said, or Rick Bisaccia, I can't remember which one it is. He had basically said, "I will be surprised if we come away from this game without a blocked field goal because of the trajectory or an extra point." So,
Right.
you know, listen, I'm so torn on this one because I had zero expectations going into this game. Well, that's not true. The expectation was that we were going to lose, and we were going to lose by a lot, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And then we were ahead for a good portion of this game. Like, we were never out of this game, which unfortunately opens the door of hope, right? Like, just a crack. I got my foot in there, and you could feel it. You were like, okay, this is it. This is the one. This stadium's going to erupt.
Yeah.
And then, but everybody was just kind of like, yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's blocked. Yeah, okay, another time. Cool. Like, it's so sad at this point in time that our expectation is just loss and heartache.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
I mean, it's dejected, and we've got 5 more division games against teams that are really freaking good.
Yeah. So let's get into that real quick. I don't have it on here, but I'm gonna show you some stuff here because this is interesting. So we're gonna go into this, and you let me know if you can see the screen because I can no longer see my presentation screen. So
Yeah, I can see that.
can we kind of make this out? All right. So here's real quick what we're looking at. Right, we've got all the Bears lined up here on who their opponents are, score, and who they played. Same thing with Green Bay. You're looking at it, right? The Bears are at an average points for of 19.4. Average points against are 18.7. So we were right there again. We held the Packers below their normal. And when you're looking at it, just real quick, divisionally, NFC North is far and above everybody else. They have the highest average points for or points scored, and the lowest points against, and obviously the best record too. So making it very difficult. Now, next week we get Minnesota, right? Minnesota is averaging 17 points allowed. So it's a tougher defense than what we just faced with Green Bay.
Yeah.
About the same as far as points scored. So that's going to be tough. And then we go into the Thanksgiving matchup. This one's really rough because the Lions are averaging over 33 points and only giving up about 17. Now, some of those, are some bottom dweller teams, right? In Jacksonville and Tennessee, and I'll guess kind of Dallas. Seems kind of weird to say. But they have outscored their opponents by 30 or more points 3 times this year. So we've got some 2 really difficult games coming up next.
Yeah, I will say about the Vikings is that they're, if you look at some of the games that they've played, those are some team. It's not full of juggernauts yet either. So
Right. And if you look at just the last, like, if we look at just like the last 3 weeks of these guys, like, you can see it really changes Minnesota quite a bit, right? But then again, also look at the Bears.
Oh, for sure. But
like, that's just
we after what I'm saying is after the hot start that Sam Darnold had, he's kind of come back to be closer to what we've seen more of in his career. He's got a good coaching staff, and he's got a good team around him.
Right. So I mean, Minnesota is a winnable game, right? It is winnable. I do believe that still, but we're gonna have to get some work done on it for sure.
Right.
So
right.
just some fun stuff to look at, some fun stuff I've been playing with.
Nice. Good work there.
But, all right, man. I believe unless you got anything else, it's time for Tales of a Degenerate.
Yep. No, let's jump into that. Made my
Yeah,
picks.
I'll kick off your Tales of a Degenerate for you, just because in pure me fashion, I did a parlay for tonight's game, and I had a tight end who I said, hey, he's going to have more than 25 receiving yards. He catches a ball for 11 yards and then is ruled out of the rest of the game. So my parlay died real early.
Oops.
'Cause that was very, very me of me.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. You can't
How, how'd you do?
you, you can't control injuries. Well, let's see. Tales of a Degenerate. My week 11 picks tracking against Westgate Vegas Super Contest against the spread picks. I came into the week dead even 25 and 25. It's pretty hilarious actually. Uh, but I lost because I had Packers -5. I did win with the Steelers +3. Um, Titans, I lost. I had Titans +6. Ended up losing that one. Uh, Broncos -2.5. I won and easily. And then it was all hinging on the Bengals last night. I had the Bengals +1.5, and they blow 2 field goals in the fourth quarter after a slow start and roaring. They roared back and had the opportunity to take the lead, but the Bengals are always gonna Bengal, I guess. I just thought maybe they had it in them to break through. So um,
Yeah, it was one of the were the Bengals going to Bengal or were the Chargers going to Charger? Like it was one of those where neither one of them apparently wanted to win that game right up until the end.
Right. So then my other little thing that I do every week is my 4 to score, pick 4 touchdown scores, parlay them together. Um, I had who did I have? Oh, I had Brees Hall. He scored a touchdown. I had Devon Achan. He scored a touchdown. I had Jawan Jennings. He scored a touchdown. I had George Pickens. There were no touchdowns scored by the Steelers. Dang. So close, so close. Um, thought thought it was thought that one might be it. Uh, as Pickens has developed a nice actual rapport with Russell Wilson. As much as I had actually hated both of those players from a
Yeah,
fantasy standpoint,
that
coming
game
into the
was a
season.
letdown and a half.
But
From
I
just from a fantasy standpoint or whatever, after the Bengals lay out 400 plus yards or whatever on them through the air, uh, Steelers did nothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the kind of divisional game that you have versus between these two
Yeah,
teams.
yeah.
And the Steelers defense controlled the game and shut down the Ravens, which I kind of thought might be the case after Ravens had such a big output the week before. So that's why I
Yeah.
ended up picking them. But it is what it is. We live. I hit a few parlays last night on that game. Really, actually made for a pretty not like e- enormous weekend, but it I think I
Positive weekend.
no I yeah I think I went increased my balance on my account by about 200%. So
Nice.
that was that was nice and.
Show off.
Not doing so well with any of the things that are happening tonight, but I DraftKings had this promo boost for Christian Pulisic to score and the U.S. to win. It was plus 300, and that came through. So that more than made my night for anything else that I bet on the evening. So
Yeah, good for you. All right, buddy. Let's get into our bad calls.
yep.
I'll you want to go first? You want me to hit mine?
Yeah, I mine's not. I don't even know if I should try to show this one, but maybe I will. Let's see. There was a um I don't know if it'll come through if I share it. Share screen. Mm. Nebraska and USC. Nebraska's trying to come back in this game, and one of the most blatant pass interferences I've ever seen. The guy's getting yanked down while the other defender jumps in front and gets the interception. Uh, just terrible officiating. That's that's where the action is. The refs got to see that. You could see that his jersey almost tugged off his shoulder pads there, and being pulled the complete opposite direction. That's one that can't get missed.
This is another one of those situations that you're reviewing a play anyway because it's a turnover. What?
Yep. Yeah. Why can't you reverse that based on a penalty?
Fix it. I mean, it's so simple because, like, again, pass interference, I guess, can be subjective to a point, but when it's that clear and obvious,
Yep.
come on,
Yeah.
come on, that can't be good.
The other little one I'll mention because there wasn't a lot of other things. In the Kansas City Buffalo game at the end, Kansas City's trying to drive down. They're down anyway, but there was a pass that was clearly not caught. But the Chiefs get the Chiefs officiating at this point. They're getting the Jordan treatment, and the refs just kind of looked the other way. But it was shown like 4 times on the broadcast replay. Jim Nance is calling it out. So you know that whoever's in the replay booth is seeing that, and they don't stop the play. It didn't end up mattering. There was a holding on the next play, blah, blah, blah. But it was another blatant thing. And I'm
Right.
not one of these guys that's, oh, the league's out trying to do the Chiefs. I don't really complain about that too much, but that one was just brutal. So officiating, that's my bad call of the week.
Yeah, good. Hey, that's good. And again, back to the whole booth of it all. Like, you have it there, and what it's meant to be used for, you should actually try using it for said service.
For sure.
All right. So mine is going to be along with a whole lot of people. My bad call of the week is going to Netflix for the disaster that is/was, I guess, the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson on Friday night. The quality of the fight is what it is and should be kind of expected when you're talking about a 27-year-old fighting a 50-year-old man. Even if that 50-year-old man is still the baddest man on the planet. I was so hopeful that Tyson was going to knock Jake on his ass. I was so hopeful for that. Make Jake Paul regret that fight, but all the same, Netflix really shit the bed on the broadcast. At first, just a little bit of buffering. Okay, kind of expect that. Then next thing you know, not loading at all. It would go 25%, 50%, 70%, and then go, hey, your internet connection's not strong enough. I'm sorry, what? Like, I'm pulling 1,000 down, well, okay, probably between 600 and 1,000 down. I got 40 up. I can run games. I can run a live stream. I can do all the things. I can watch other shows on your service.
Right.
But it's my internet connection? I don't think so, Netflix. Listen, I realize that the viewership will likely be smaller for these NFL games, but damn, do I have some concerns about these Christmas NFL games now.
I mean, we've gone over this BS that you have to have 14 different services to watch all the NFL games, even if you pay for the ticket. If that kind of crap happens on my Christmas afternoon when I'm just supposed to be sitting around with family, enjoying some Christmas cheer, wanting to watch a little bit of football, I'm gonna cancel my Netflix at least for a few months. I'm not.
Right.
That cannot happen. That cannot happen.
Yeah, what 100%. Listen, right? So Netflix is getting my bad call of the week this week. If they had that same problem. Not only will they cancel for me, I can promise you NFL will have my bad call of the week, the following one, for having that game on Netflix. Like, this wasn't a surprise that you were going to have massive amounts of viewers.
Right.
Like, you dropped the ball, you shit the bed, fix it. So, bad call of the week, Netflix. That'll conclude that part of it. If you've got a bad call of the week, put something down in the comments. Tag us on X, Twitter, whatever it is. Throw out that hashtag BCOTW. We'll start doing that one. Bad call of the week. All right, buddy. Anything else you want to talk about tonight?
Anybody know how to get 5th grade boys to pay attention on a basketball court?
Okay. That got dark for half a second. Okay.
No.
5th grade girls? I don't.
Boys. Yeah. No.
I know.
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean,
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. I've been a little frustrated here the past couple of weeks. We've been getting better, but it's draining on me a little bit.
that is the never-ending coach problem of you want it more than your athletes a lot of times, and it makes it very difficult. Yeah. I do not miss that frustration, my friend, and wish you all the luck in the world on that one.
I love it. I have a blast. It's fun. It's one of the best things. One of the things I always looked forward to doing with my son. You know, as when I was younger, and it's here, and you know, I'm coaching a B team, right? I don't have the
Yeah.
most talented kids in town, but I still want to have them be able to experience a little success. So
At the end of the day, if you can teach them work ethic and sportsmanship, you win, right? So that's the goal. Uh, Now, if you were an
well,
NFL head coach, you'd have some different responsibilities, but you know,
well, we
is
are
what it
playing
is.
AAU ball. It's a little bit more competitive, so I do have a little bit of expectations. Still underpaid for how much time I'm putting in.
All right, buddy. I think that's going to be it for this week. Appreciate you all that stopped in, stuck around, commented. Truly do appreciate you. Every little bit helps out. Again, drop in the comments what your bad call of the week is. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, follow. Any little free thing that you are doing to help us out, we truly, truly appreciate it. We will see you again next week at a time to be determined. We will let you know what that is. But until next time, try to avoid making another bad call. All right. Now, I tried something different this time of